following program is a special presentation of Fox Sports Net.
When motors walk and she's purring sweet, but let me warn ya, you're on a one-way street. She'll crowd your clothes, spin your wheels, then you're gonna know how it feels to spin out. Spin out.
Fox, the nation's fastest family of networks, welcomes you to the Monster Mile, Dover Downs, Delaware, where if one of our Winston Cup drivers would attempt to qualify at this moment, they would surely spin out. The track is damp, but we have lots in store in this telecast of Bud Pole qualifying for Sunday's MBNA 400 at Dover Downs. 1 week ago in Charlotte, North Carolina, rookie Phenom stole the pole from Jeff Gordon, but got loose, and he spun out of contention while in the lead. Gordon escaped only to be damaged in a pit road crash with Kenny Wallace, and Jeff Burton ended a long drought with the checkered flag. Burton celebrated in victory lane while his crew tried to escape Lowe's Motor Speedway. They fought the traffic and got back in victory lane. Got their pictures in the photos, but today they're here along with 47 other Winston Cup cars getting set to qualify for Sunday's event. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dover. Mike Joy with Darrell Waltrip and Larry McReynolds. And it's raining again, but we have lots in store for the folks today.
We're dealing.
Yeah.
That's about what's happening right now over in the truck. Everybody said, come on, over to our place. And they're not playing Go Fish either.
No,
they're
absolutely not.
Telling, you know, you can tell these racing stories every now and then, but I don't know if we can tell them every week or not. I'm merely having to go back in the archives to dig up some new material. I mean, 8 hours last week. And
oh, we've got lots to do today. We've got heroes and zeros from Charlotte to interview, and we got Jeff and Steve in the Hollywood Hotel.
That's true. We do have that.
And we got the Hollywood Hotel. Yeah, we got that going for us.
Yeah.
But here's what's happened so far today. Busch Series qualifying has been rained out. There are 43 entries for Saturday's MBNA 200, so they'll all make the field. In the Winston Cup garage, things are a little more dicey with the weather.
Little different story. There's all kinds of wishes and hopes down there in that Winston Cup garage area because there's 48 entries, 48 cars here, but they only start 43 no matter what the agenda is. There's a lot of teams that says we want qualifying. We want qualifying to go off. You've got Jeff Green, the current Busch Car National points leader, making his second start for Richard Childress. He was 10th quickest in practice. Qualifying gets rained out. Only one start this year. They go home. Dale Jarrett, though, the current Winston Cup points leader, he was 25th quickest in practice. He'd like to see it maybe get rained out because you know what? He'll be on the pole because of he's #1 in the points. So a lot of different wishes going on down there as far as the rain lifting or staying with us.
Now,
Quite frankly, I'm looking for 3 aces.
Go fish.
Go fish. The rain did lift for a while, and they got the track dry, and they were all set to get ready to send the first car when we came on the air, and we got a light shower again. Now, there's some light showers here in this area, but behind us, it's all rain from here to Atlanta.
But the good thing about it, Dover Downs, it's concrete. It dries fast, real fast. Even the straightaways are banked here. So if we can get that winder, as Dick Beatty used to call it, we could get this qualifying session on.
All right, right now let's go down to the garage area because we have lots of stories to tell and folks to interview down there, beginning with Speedway Illustrated's editor, Dick Berggren.
Thanks, Mike. And the talk down here in the garage is, of course, about the rain, but it's also about Tony Stewart. And why not? He has made 4 Winston Cup starts here at Dover. In the first, he finished 4th, then he finished 2nd, then he won again. He didn't back into any of this. In 3 of those 4 starts, Stewart led more laps than anybody else. Top it all off with this. The fastest man to ever turn a lap here at Dover, Tony Stewart, in an Indy car, over 185 miles an hour. Anybody who's going to win here on Sunday is going to have to beat Tony Stewart. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Dick, while Tony Stewart hunts the three-peat, his teammate Bobby Labonte is trying to break through, still chasing his season's first victory. It nearly came last Sunday night in Charlotte, but he spun while trying to retake the lead. He enters Dover, a former winner, with a lot of optimism. Since June of 1996, he has only one finish here outside of the top 5, a 40th place due to a crash while leading. So it's no wonder that Labonte and Jimmy Makar and company have high hopes for this weekend, only if Lady Luck and Mother Nature decide to shine. Mike?
We're going to be joined in a bit by Kevin Harvick, whose Busch and Cup schedule isn't busy enough. He's forming a truck team. More on that in a moment. But it's a busy weekend on the Fox family of networks. Tomorrow it's all FX. The MBNA Platinum 200 for the Busch Series at 12:30 Eastern, followed by Winston Cup practice. Sunday here on the net, NASCAR this morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Then the Winston Cup race, the MBNA Platinum 400 at 12:30 Eastern on Fox. And NASCAR Victory Lane right here on the net, 9 p.m. Sunday evening per usual. A light drizzle falling at Dover Downs. We have lots to do, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Dover Downs. Here's a summary of the Bud Pole winners thus far this season. Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Jarrett, each with 2 Bud Poles. Ryan Newman, Bobby Labonte, Stacy Compton, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and back at Daytona, Bill Elliott, with 1 Bud Pole apiece. We're on a hold here at Dover Downs to begin qualifying. A light sprinkle falling. But the man who is letting a smile be his umbrella is with Dick Berggren.
Yeah, and that's Jeff Burton, and why not? Last week he won the Coca-Cola 600 at Lowe's Motor Speedway. How big was that, given how miserable the beginning of the season had been for you?
Well, I think just as important as winning is that we ran well. I thought to myself about halfway through the race, you know, even if we don't find a way to win, at least we're running well. And normally you don't run the way we've been running and then just pop up and win a race. That, you know, we had some things go our way. What normally happens is you have to run well or finish top 5, top 3, you know, and then you start winning. But don't want to give it away, don't get me wrong, but that we ran well is as gratifying as at this point as versus winning, just because we have struggled so much.
You had talked earlier this year about not having a good feel for this new Goodyear tire. Did the old car that you ran last week, you ran a car that you had run and had a lot of success with before, but it's not the new design, did that help you get a better feel of the tire?
Well, just to clear it up, that chassis is the same chassis we're running now. It's just an older chassis, but it's exactly the same. The body on it is certainly not as good as, we don't think it's as good as what we're building today. You know, what happened to us on Sunday is it was a lot of things. I'm starting to figure out what the car needs. Even though I still don't have a good feel for it, I'm starting to figure out what it needs. One of the things that I've been able to do fairly well in the past is drive a car that's somewhat loose. And I don't want to be real loose, like Mark can drive a looser car than I can, but even still, I can hang it out some and go. And this tire, I just can't hang it out. So we decided last week we're just going to push, and we set the car up really tight, and the track came to us, and we never got to the position where we pushed and couldn't run fast enough. So when my car was tight, I could run, and if it ever got loose, I couldn't.
It's easy to see the pressure on a driver, a crew chief, you and Frank Stoddard, but how about the wives? Was it a big relief for them as well last week?
Well, you know, not just everybody, you know, everybody in the team, their families, kids, everybody. You know, when you're not doing what you expect to do, it's hard. The fact that the wives and the kids and all the people in the family, they have to give so much time up so that you can do what it is that you do. When you're doing well, you know, you come home and you feel good about it, and they feel good about it. When you're doing poorly, then it's a little bit harder because, you know, you don't see your kids much, you don't see your wives much, especially the crew members. Frank and I, our wives go with us every week. Our crew members, their wives don't get to go with them every week. So doing well, it helps everything, and including the relationship the guys have with their wives, because, you know, if you're going to do good and be away from home, that's okay. But if you're going to do bad and be away from home, that's probably not acceptable.
We heard a story that your house was redecorated following the victory. What was it like when you got home?
Well, I had some balloons hanging up on water fountains and all over the place. A friend of mine, Danny from a good friend Earnhardt's, he decorated my house. Unfortunately, I had to go take them all down, and then I got in trouble for taking them down because my daughter didn't want me to throw the balloons away, and she caught me popping them. So I got in trouble 2 ways.
Hey, we're happy for you for last week. Let's go to Maddie.
Well, Dick, when Jeff Burton took home the big money last week, Bobby Labonte, many feel, had the car to take home NASCAR's crown jewel for another time for this 18 team. But let's talk back to last week. Just how good was that race car and what happened on that spin?
It was really good. I mean, the guys did a great job all night. It was a brand new race car last weekend, and you know, everything went our way. I mean, we never really adjusted on the car, and the racetrack came to us from the daytime to nighttime, and just went on the outside of the 25 car, and you know, where there's a little bit of error at the wrong place at the wrong time, car was a little bit neutral on new tires, and it wiggled one time, and I thought I had it, and when it wiggled the second time, there wasn't no catching it. So stood in the gas and got down the bottom of the racetrack as fast as I could, and prayed for yellow and took off and kept going. But it was ruined our night, that's for sure.
This team has a lot of smiles coming in here. You won this event back in June of '99, but you're 48th on the practice chart. Now, some fans at home are going to go, oh my gosh, what's going on? But you guys had a game plan going into the practice session, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, we ran like 50 laps in practice, you know, compared to 10 or 12 laps, I guess you might say. And, you know, again, it just goes back to just trying to get a feel for, you know, what's going on, and waste one set of tires. And we were fixing to start a qualifying trend in that situation, in that mode. And we got our car feeling really good and really, you know, comfortable feeling. And one of our fastest laps that we ran was at the very end of practice on the oldest tire that we had, so before the rains came. So it felt pretty good about it. The car feels good and comfortable, and that's what our game plan was, to get that accomplished before we found any speed in the car for qualifying for 2 laps, because we got 400 laps, 400 miles to worry about Sunday.
His teammate won both races here last year. In fact, if you look back, the Gibbs domination actually started with Bobby when he won this event back in June of '99. They've won 3 of the last 4, going for 4 for 5 on Sunday. Mike?
Thanks, Matt. Jeff Burton's win, though, broke a 14-race winless streak. I'm sure it only felt like 140, but it was 14 races. Darrell, what are the emotions leading up to that? And when you break through, how big is that for a team?
Well, what happens is you start second-guessing yourself. You start questioning your car. You start questioning your crew. And you second-guess your decisions that you're going to make. And guess where it ends up eventually? Right in here. It ends up in the driver's lap. He starts questioning his ability. And when all these things are going around, to add insult to injury or to make things worse, you've got people like us and others saying, hey, what's wrong? You know, what's wrong with you guys? And it just gets to be a real vicious circle. You start chasing your tail, really, and you wonder if you're ever going to catch it or not. And, of course, it just takes one good weekend. Yeah. I always said I don't have to win every week, but I got to be competitive every week. Those guys hadn't even been competitive. So for them to slip in there and win that race the way they did is sort of unusual, but also for them it's a big break for them, because they're coming to tracks that they really do well at, and that can be a real momentum booster for them as we get ready to head down the road here.
Larry, as you go along, and if things aren't going well, does everybody on the team start going, is it me? Is it my job?
You know, there's no doubt that the team follows the driver and the crew chief's lead. You know, they're going to be thinking what those guys are thinking. And went through it in 1992 with Davey Allison. First third of the season, we won 4 races. We won the Winston. We was leading the Winston Cup points. We wrecked at Pocono. Davey got injured. We thought the injury was over with. We went through the month of September and October, and we could not even, it looked like we didn't even know where to find the racetrack, much less how to get around it. And you start to getting the second guessing. We was second guessing Davey. Davey was second guessing us. But Darrell, you're absolutely right. We finally sat down. We said, enough's enough. We went to Phoenix, Arizona. We won the race. We took the points lead back. We didn't end up winning the championship, but you're right. One win takes all those little voices that are haunting you. Who is it? What is it? You know, what's going on? What's happening with this race team? What's happening with him? One win, one good run can take that second guessing away and get you back on track.
Every week, 43 try, but only one goes home with the trophy. Last week, it was Jeff Burton, Frank Stoddard, and the Jack Roush 99 team that celebrated in Victory Lane on NASCAR's longest night. More from Dover Downs, where we hope to get Bud Pole qualifying in this afternoon after this word. Welcome back to Dover Downs, Delaware. It's Bud Pole qualifying day, and the track is empty because of a light shower. Track drying efforts have been underway for the better part of the last hour, and for a while they had the track ready to go. But right now it's still a little damp, so we're going to take you down to the pits and garage and meet some of the folks that make this sport turn left. Let's start with Matt Yoakum.
Well, Mike, the first item on the agenda today was Busch qualifying. That was canceled. They will go by points, meaning that Jeff Green will start on the pole, but you kind of wanted a shot at that pole because you were third fastest in practice.
Yeah, they don't give them awards away when they just start them by points. But, I mean, that's what the guys work hard every week. It's what we work hard every week, try to do, try to stay up in the points as good as we can to when this happens. So it's just a little bit of a reward before we get to the end of the year to be able to start up front. Ought to give us a great starting spot, and we'll get the first pick on pit road. This pit road is probably not the biggest and widest, so it ought to be a good, ought to be good for us in the race, too.
Looking for redemption this year after what happened here last year? This was not the best of Dover races for you.
No, well, the spring was good to me, but the fall wasn't too good. We wrecked 2 cars that weekend, so our NASCAR horse is running really well, and I'm really proud for those guys. I'm really happy for that, and hopefully we'll get happy out here this afternoon and see what we got for the race, but pretty excited about the AOL car, too. It's really running good, and we ended up 10th in practice there, and we never made our qualifying run, so we know we had a shot at least getting in the top 5, and it'd be a good day for us.
Obviously, you got to be pretty optimistic, hoping that you can get qualifying in for the Cup side, knowing how fast that number 30 car is.
It is very fast, and if we don't get qualifying, then we might not make it, because we don't have the points. We don't run every week, and I don't know what we're going to do if we don't. Hopefully, Mother Nature will shine a little bit here, and either between today and tomorrow, we'll be able to do that. Just proud of those guys at Richard Childress Racing and AOL for giving me the opportunity. It's a great racetrack for me personally as a driver, and got a great race car to drive, so it's not much better.
Winning the championship, you had a great year last year. Your name keeps getting thrown around about going back to Winston Cup. You may go Winston Cup with the team you're with now in the Busch Series. Where will you hang your helmet next year? Have you decided yet?
I don't know. We'll wait a couple of weeks and we'll all know. But just talking a lot, and I got a great opportunity with my Busch deal with Harold and the guys. They do me a great job every week, and I'm able to win races and able to hold off Matt Kenseth at Charlotte. And just things like that really make me sad to ever get away from that. But we'll have to look at everything that's available. I told a guy a while ago, 8 years ago, I couldn't pay somebody for me to drive the race car. Now everybody's wanting me, but I guess that's a good thing. So we'll just have to make a decision. Nesquik's been great to me personally as a sponsor, so that stands deep in my heart too. So I'll have to see what happens.
Another good thing, he will start from the pole on Saturday. Mike?
You're right, Matt. Here's a look at the Busch Series points, which also happens to be the starting lineup for the first 10 spots for tomorrow's MBNA Platinum 200 that you will see on our sister network, FX, tomorrow sometime after noontime.
Yeah, drivers' fortunes rise and fall, just like the stock market. You better seize the moment while you can.
High above pit road at Dover, so there's plenty of room to land those seafood shells after they've been emptied, is our Hotel California. And today there's even actually a California native on board behind that no vacancy sign. Let's go there now. Steve Byrne.
Thanks very much, Mike. And that would be Kevin Harvick, who is from, I believe, Bakersfield. Is that correct?
Bakersfield, California.
Now, I guess you're excited about getting qualifying in, looking at the practice times, Kevin. 3 RCR cars in the top 10. You're the fastest on the practice sheet.
It didn't start out that way. Jeff Green came up here and tested, and that's the reason that we're up there anyway. So we owe a lot of that to Jeff Green, and we kind of tuned on our car and got a little bit better. And we had a shot at the Busch car pole. We were the fastest in practice over there, and just a big credit to RCR for just turning things around on the 31 team and pulling the 30 car right out of the box and running good. So pretty cool.
And one of the things we were talking earlier today in the garage, you were saying that fortunately everything you did with your Busch car, you kind of tuned on, you could bring over to your Cup car, so it kind of like accelerated your learning curve.
It really did, and I think that goes every week. I'm still trying to figure out which side you're on, Daryl.
Yeah, let's go there. Let's go there.
Me and Jeff talked earlier. Last week in the 600 we're running good, and I become the Ironman. The day before, the shock falls off, and it's like, ooh, man, I don't know if they should be running both series. Which side are you on?
I think he's sitting on that fence. Does it hurt, Daryl?
Jeff's been behind me the whole time.
That's exactly right.
Oh, yeah, that's what he'll tell you.
I'm standing my ground.
That's what he'll tell you. He's always behind you when you're doing good. He loves you when you're doing good.
He's always doing good, so it makes it real easy for me.
I want to
face it.
I want to know about that restart. What was going on there when you get up there beside Biffle? And are you having a flashback or a bad day, or were you mad? Or
no, I wasn't mad. I was just reminding him. I just had to let him remember how it was a few weeks ago, and he had to deal with me. The first time he let me by, and the next time it was, man, this guy's got a pretty fast car. I better not let him go. I was just trying to make sure everything was still remembered there.
He's got to understand there's a code of honor there that you've got to uphold, right?
Right. Code of honor. I was just trying to make sure the 0 was shaped right on his car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, he definitely bought him a donut, I'll tell you that. I don't know if you gave him a cup of coffee to go with it or not.
No.
What happened to that shock?
I think the bolt broke off. I don't really know, to tell you the truth. I mean, the guys, on the AC Delco car and the Goodwrench car, are pretty thorough, and stuff just doesn't fall off. So, we're going with the fact that the shock or the bolt broke or something broke. The head of the shock was still on there. Everything was still attached. It was just nothing falls off of our race cars. So it's just one of those deals, I think.
Kevin, I heard a report this week that you are starting a truck series team. Is that true?
I got a shop and I got trucks now as I needed some money.
just a sponsor. That's all you need. No.
Oh, okay.
Daryl might.
I think Daryl's is your man. He's your pigeon.
We'll probably. We got a truck that we might run at Richmond at the end of the year if things go right. If not, it's no big deal. We'll run it a couple times next year, but just something else to do.
I read that Rick Corelli might drive it. Is that plans to maybe expand that if you can find a sponsor?
If we can find a sponsor, Rick's done a lot for me in my racing career, and he was the guy that used to draft with me when I first started racing the trucks, and nobody'd get around me. Some of them probably still don't want to get around me, but and I've known Rick since I was 5 or 6 years old. My dad used to crew chief on his open comp cars and Southwest Tour cars out there, and he's helped me from day one. So now the biggest thing is we got the shop going up, we got some trucks ordered, and we got some stuff that we got in the shop, and we're just going to see where it goes.
Hey, Jeff, tell Kevin what I always told you about money. We got a lot of problems, but
money ain't one of them. And you're also the same man who told me when you get into racing, make sure you start with a large one.
The large fortune, that's right, the large fortune.
I just want to see how much I can screw up here, I guess, to see where I go in the ownership, because I got a small bet with Gil Martin and Todd Berry that I'm going to be done in 10 years and retired, so I gotta have something to live off of.
Well, just how much
you keep running inside of Biffle's car, you might not make it that long, buddy.
All right, Kevin,
he ain't no pushover, you know.
I know. You know what, though? That's probably one thing about Greg Biffle. If he wasn't how he was and didn't push back, it wouldn't be near as much fun to race against him. I think he's kind of like Jeff Green. He's more like me than anybody on the racetrack, and I can push back, but he's going to push back with me. So
yeah, y'all are good for the series.
You listen to him right now, and just ask him what he used to do when he first came into the sport. I just got through watching a deal that's going to be coming on this Sunday night about him. It plays a whole lot about his history.
I had a very. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I had a very simple policy. You hit me once, I'm going to hit you twice.
That sounds like Hornaday. Every time you come up and you hit the back of him, he doesn't wave at you. He just holds one finger up.
That's right.
Then he holds his second finger up, and then he crashes.
That's right.
Pretty basic system.
Oh yeah, it works. Look where the guy is today.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. Thanks for joining us. Let's officially go back to the booth now, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Good for you and me to get a word in edgewise here. If you're wondering where is Chris Myers, well, there he is. High aboard the airship Fox. Can't you see him gesturing there in the side window?
I don't see his hands moving. He can't be in there.
Somebody's got to fly that thing. We'll be right back. Tomorrow, the return of Fox Saturday Baseball. Juan Gonzalez looks to continue his torrid start for the Indians against Derek Jeter and the defending world champion Yankees. Or two NL powers collide when the Dodgers battle the Astros, or you'll see other regional action. Tomorrow, beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area and watch the entire baseball season unfold across the Fox networks. Still a little damp here at Dover Downs. Dick Berggren.
Well, a couple of months ago, the Winston Cup Series was in Bristol, Tennessee, a concrete track much like this one with steep banks, very, very fast, and John Andretti had a terrific run. He finished second in that race. That's the best Dodge has finished all year long, but he didn't bring the same car here to a racetrack very similar to Bristol. How come?
Well, all the petty cars are pretty similar. All the chassis are the same, so if we can run a car there, we can run it here, and we run them everywhere. So I don't know if we'll run as good as we did at Bristol, but we have high hopes.
How's the Dodge program going as far as Petty Enterprises is concerned? Are you guys pleased? Are there things you're trying to get done still?
Well, I don't know if, I don't think that we're where we want to be, obviously, at Petty Enterprises, but, you don't blame it on one thing or another. I mean, Dodge has been great to work with, and, I think our program's coming along. So there's a lot of great things coming. It's just we got to get through these down times to get to the good times.
Now, Kyle Petty, who basically is your team owner, has got a terrific record here at Dover, Delaware. Has he been able to share some of his secrets to help you get around here a little quicker come Sunday?
Well, I usually make him go out in front of me in happy hour, and then I follow him, and I think that I'm a lot quicker than him. And when he pulls off, I think I'm really going to do a good lap, and I usually lose about 2 or 3 tenths. So he's taught me a lot about here. And actually, last year I was hurt coming into this race, and he drove the 43 car in the race, and he did a great job. So so I know our cars are capable of running real well here. We've run good here in the past, so we'll see if we can do it again. I don't like Bristol. Everybody knows that, and we ran good there, so hopefully we can do it here.
Some people say that to go fast here, you have to go slow. You have to take it really easy. Is that the way you drive this place?
I think so. I think you gotta get the car in the position into the corner where you need to get it off, and so often it's so easy to drive so hard into these corners, and then just kind of figure out where you're at and then go from there, and it costs you a lot of time, and plus you wear the tires down. But Dover's become a lot of fun because you get a top groove and a bottom groove going, but as we've seen here in the past, the guy on the bottom is the guy that wins, so we'll do everything we can to keep the Cheerios Dodge on the bottom.
Okay, good luck with it. Let's go to Matt.
Well, Dick, Ray Evernham won here 3 times as a crew chief, now trying to pull off the victory as a car owner. But Ray, we talked as the rain started coming down, you felt like that might be a lucky break for you for the 19 car because Casey was only 47th fastest in practice.
Yeah, the 9 car is good, but we've been struggling qualifying with the 19. Just pretty far off. Made a lot of changes, but we don't know where we're at right now, so this might be a blessing for us.
How difficult for you, when you were a crew chief, you were a very hands-on crew chief, now as an owner, to not try to step in and say, hey, why don't you try it this way, or why don't you try it that way?
It's hard. It would be easier if you could concentrate on one thing, but it's okay when you have one problem at a time, but when you have 2 teams and 120 people, it's hard to concentrate just on one problem at a time. And if you jump in, you can't be half a crew chief and half a car owner. You either got to be the crew chief or the car owner. And I've got, with Mike Ford, Sammy Johns, Patrick Donahue, I've got people I've got confidence in. I just got to give them the time to learn.
You set an agenda when you started this operation and goals. Are you where you feel like you need to be at this point of the season? Are you behind or maybe even a little ahead?
Honestly, we're really ahead as far as some of the systems we have going at the shop and the number of cars that we have built and the engine program. The only place we're really behind is in the actual on-track finishes and the point standings. We'd hope to have Bill in the top 15 in points, and he's 16th. And we wanted to have Casey in the top 25. He's 36th. So, our performance has been just a little bit too inconsistent.
The Dodgers have shown signs of brightness. Daytona, they won the pole in your car. Ward Burton led laps. The 40 car has been strong. Are you surprised that a Dodge hasn't gone to victory lane yet?
I don't know that I'm surprised they've not. I'll be surprised if the year ends without a Dodge going to victory lane. I really feel like most of the teams are getting closer. Like I said, we have at times shown that our equipment's fast enough. And, sooner or later, we're going to be able to put that together at the right time. And I feel like Sterling or Ward or, one of the other teams is going to be able to do that too.
You feel like when we start to round the corner for the second half of the season, that's when the Dodge teams, when they go back to places a second time, they'll start to really shine and possibly get into victory lane?
Matt, I really expected every week. I felt good at Charlotte last week. I know we missed it at race setup, but started the race good, ended the race good, just missed the middle part. I really felt last week at Charlotte was the first time that I felt confident that a Dodge could have won that race. So could be here Sunday. I feel like it's right around the corner.
What's been your biggest shocker in your role as a car owner?
Oh, boy. When you have a small team or when you're largely responsible for a car, a machine, you know what to expect from it. My machine's made up of 120 different personalities now, so that's something I'm having a little trouble learning.
You made some personnel changes in the past few weeks. Is that a part of the job where you knew going in that you might have to shuffle some people around to try to find the right chemistry?
Yeah, honestly, it took me over 60 people to get the 25 to lead us to the championship in '95 with the Rainbow Warriors. So, it's going to be a lot of turnover. It's going to be a lot of people. But with any professional sports franchise, you look at a baseball team or a football team, they make a lot of changes before they get the 10 or 11 guys that start winning games and winning championships. And it just takes a while to get that chemistry.
He's definitely a master organizer. hoping to go to victory lane here shortly, Mike.
Thanks, Matt. Remember what Dodge has accomplished in such a short time. After 20 years out of Winston Cup racing, in 1 year, they've gone from 0 to Daytona and into their first full season of Winston Cup racing in 2 decades. But that transition from crew chief or from driver to car owner, aside from the drag on the wallet, that's quite a transition.
I know what he's missing. Every team should have this, a therapist. You got to have a good therapist, because as a car owner, no longer, see, when you're a hands-on guy like he's been, he never gets to touch the car. You got sponsors. You got 120 employees, 120 families, wives, children. You got all this stuff going on. This is not an I sport. I cannot do it by myself. I cannot hands-on everything that I'm accustomed to hands-on. Here's what happens. You got to go to a sponsor meeting in Detroit. You leave for a day, maybe a day and a night. By the time you get back in your shop, now remember our schedule. We got to be at the next race. We got to leave on Thursday. I walk back in the shop. I look at the car and I said, "Oh, why did you do that? That's not. That wasn't the way I wanted it. You know, that's what we learned in the wind tunnel. We got to put it this way. We got to put it that way. What time we got to load the car? Well, load the car. We'll get it. We'll fix it next week." That happens to you time and time and time again, because you can't be there. People will not do they won't do it the way you would do it. And when you get around to checking behind them to see where you are, it's too late.
The frustration level trickles down, though.
One word. You're always compromising. Compromising everything. And you know what compromise leads to? Mediocrity. And that's what happens to a race team. It gets happy with mediocrity.
But see, you're frustrated because when you walked in the shop, it wasn't performed like you wanted it done. But then that guy's performed saying, "Well, why wasn't he here then? Why wasn't he here to show me how he wanted it done?"
So
it trickles down. But we talk about what Dodge has accomplished, but think about what Ray Evernham has accomplished. I mean, let's face it. A year and a half ago, since then, he has started not one race team, but 2 race teams. He has built 2 race teams as far as buildings, as far as people. He's helped Dodge develop their bodies. He's helped Dodge develop their engines. He's helped Dodge develop chassis things. He's doing it with 1 rookie. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And I talked to Ray a lot, and he said, "Larry, probably the one mistake I maybe made," but he said, "I don't think I'm going to regret doing this, is trying to start 2 race teams and my own engine program." But he said, "I just know in 3 to 4 years, to be there to win a championship, I need to go and bite that bullet and do that." He's got shops scattered all over Charlotte. He's got a fab shop here, a race shop here, engine shop here. He's scattered all over Charlotte.
But I disagree with him one thing. The biggest mistake I made as a car owner, my first year, all I did was build cars. Focused on the body, focused on the chassis. I had 20 people working for me. All we did was build cars. I got the engines from Rick Hendrick, from Hendrick Motorsports. First year, 2 races, this is a piece of cake. Built some nicer cars, built some better cars. Second year, won 3 races, got it figured out. Now I got to start my own engine program. Guess what?
Oops.
Never won again. Never won again because, first of all, I didn't have enough bullets. You start with no engines, you got to have about 30 or 40 of them. So I just spent a year and a half getting inventory, putting engines together. That's good enough. Put that in the go. Got to have more engines, more engines. The engine program was my Achilles heel. If I had it to do over again, and if I was Ray, I'd have gone to Bill Elliott's brother Ernie or somebody like that and said, "Build my engines until I get my feet on the ground." Then, and only then, and I'm not sure I'd do it then, would I tackle an engine program.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, the only variable when you was with a GM car, there was different resources to be able to go to build, to get your motors. A little bit limited on the Dodge side.
Yes.
For 10 race teams.
Hardly anybody except the 2 or 3 builders that have been working in the truck series. Well, let's let our own Fox Sports therapist weigh in on this weighty problem.
You want to know what I think? Do you really want to know what I think? You guys are a bunch of babies. I'm out of here. I'm going to baseball.
Baseball on Fox starts this Saturday, and Jeannie will host the pregame show. She'll be back with us for the Sears Point race. But, Darrell, you hit on the linchpin of NASCAR on Fox. No compromises.
No,
there's no compromises in this group. There's no mediocrity in this group.
No, but that's what you get to accept. And as soon as you accept it one time, as soon as you say, okay, that's good enough, it's never good enough. And when you start to say, "We'll let it go, I'll let it go this time," you got to stop it right then and there. I don't care. The guys are worn out. They've been working all night trying to get this car ready to go. You walk in, you say, "That's not the way it's supposed to be." but you let them load the car anyway because you look at them and you feel sorry for them. They haven't been home with their wives and their kids. They haven't had a meal at home. They ate pizza all night long. And all of a sudden, you become the therapist for them with nowhere to turn.
2 words that get you in trouble in this sport. I can't and I won't.
Oh, I thought car owner. That'll do it,
Any
too.
roll of it.
The umbrellas are still up here at Dover Downs.
Bank account.
Well, we page Dr. Freud. We'll be right back with more from the Monster Mile. 500 money back. Welcome back to the Monster Pond at Dover, Delaware, where rain has put Bud Pole qualifying on hiatus.
It's not raining that hard now. It's not pond up yet.
Well, it's light till 8 o'clock, too, so we got plenty of time to wait, and a hearty bunch of fans are with us here.
You get all those people out on the racetrack with those umbrellas.
We've been talking about drivers making the transition to car ownership. And let's meet one now who has his hand firmly on his wallet with Dick Berggren.
Winston Cup teams plus a truck team, so that's 4 separate race teams. And in the midst of all of that, he has launched the Victory Junction Camp, which is a camp for children. Tell us about that. What's the point of the camp, and what are you trying to do?
It's part of the Paul Newman hole-in-the-wall game camps, and it's for chronically ill children, kids that are, like, say, hemophiliacs, kids with arthritis, kids with asthma, HIV kids, kids with leukemia. And what it allows kids to come to the camp and be around other kids that have the same disease. There's one in Florida, right close to the racetrack, the Boggy Creek Gang Camp, a phenomenal place. And Austin, my middle son, he was a counselor there this summer, and we had looked at this for the last couple of years, and after Adam's accident last year, we thought that this would be a fitting memorial for Adam because he had just begun to do a lot of stuff with Sprint and with the Starbright Foundation with children's hospitals. So we got the ball rolling on it, and we've been very blessed. Had a couple of people donate $1 million apiece, so that's been big for us. And the other thing was Tony Stewart last weekend. You know, the money was incredible. I'll say that. And it's going to take $25 million to build this camp. But what Tony did...
$25 million.
$25 million. It's a 5-year project. We hope to have it up and running in 2004. Patty has spent every waking moment on it because she's really dedicated to the project. But like I say, Tony's deal last week, running Indy and running Charlotte, and with Chip Ganassi Racing and with Target and with Home Depot, and what Tony Stewart and Joe Gibbs did, it got the word out to millions and millions of people. And our phones rung off the hook all week just because of the awareness of it.
Now, race fans would like to participate in something like this. How can they do it?
Well, they call our race shop. We've got a girl there, Mary Barr, who is pretty much running the camp for us right now. And, you know, Mike Wallace has been running decal on a couple of race cars that he's run. There's other drivers that are beginning to pick up on it. But, you know, right now we're in that stage where we're just now starting our fundraising stuff. And then we'll go through that for a year or so. And then we're going to need tons of volunteers. And that's what makes this camp special is when a child comes to the camp, he's the one individual child, but there's always 2 counselors looking after him. And that's important and makes him feel special, makes us feel special. And hopefully it adds a little life and a little spirit to the kids. And I know we get that back from the kids.
You're doing a great job. You really are. Oh, and happy birthday for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to the booth.
Well, tell Kyle I've got a check from him from Tony's run last week. Jayski.com's made a donation. A lot of folks have really jumped on board because of the attention that Tony Stewart has brought to what Kyle and Patty Petty are doing. What a great cause.
Well, and I think I just realized even more so the magnitude of this this camp. He said it takes $25 million to build this camp.
Well, that's because of all the specialized medical equipment that's got to be there to tend to these kids' specialized needs while they're there trying to have fun and improve their quality of life while they're there.
And so, I mean, it's a great project that's going to take a lot of resources, and it's going to take a lot of people helping out.
And we'll follow it all the way here on Fox Family of Networks. Still a little damp here in Dover. Nice for the grass, tough for the cars waiting to qualify, and on these fans that have come out here on Friday afternoon. Busch Series qualifying has been rained out. That race will start per the NASCAR rule book instructions, mostly by points, tomorrow, and you'll see it on FX. The Winston Cup race, so we are still on hold and hopeful of getting a dry track. Now, here's a young fellow who knows all about racing in the rain, should it become necessary to do so, because he spent a lot of time in Europe racing in the rain as part of the racing roots of a young fellow named Jerry Nadeau.
4 years old, my dad got me my first go-kart. And every day after preschool or kindergarten, first grade, I mean, I was out in the parking lots. I used to tug on my mom, and she used to come down and start the go-kart for me, and I just used to go wailing away. Probably when I was about 13, 14 is when I started thinking, this would be a really cool deal to do full-time, do it as a job. And not that I haven't worked before, but, my dad owned a roofing company, so I worked with him.
Come on, Dad. Let's go. You're wasting time.
Okay. No, I got the line up there. See the blue line there?
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
The red one, not the blue.
Or whatever.
I realized, I said, racing's much more fun than doing that kind of stuff. So, I pursued it and did real well. I'm here today.
Matt Yoakum is with Jerry Nadeau.
Well, Jerry Nadeau was 7th fastest in the practice session, 17th in driver and car owner points. So does it matter for you if you qualify and go by points? Either way, does it matter?
Well, I mean, it doesn't look like the weather's going to cooperate today for sure, but it would have been nice to qualify. I mean, we had a good car, a good enough car to sit up somewhere in the front row. We qualified outside pole here last year. We ran real good, raced real good, so I mean, I feel pretty good about the UAW Delphi Chevrolet. It's the guys did a good job. It's we weren't that great when we got off the trailer, but we progressively got better and better throughout the session.
Bad weather has been forecasted for all weekend. It could come and go. Did you do any race trim during your practice session today, or was it all qualifying trim?
No, it's pretty much all qualifying, but I did notice the 18 car. He was out there doing a lot of laps. I'm sure he probably knew that it was supposed to, the qualifying was going to get rained out. But to be honest, I mean, we get 2 practice sessions tomorrow. It's 2 hours. This place is going to change a lot during the weekend, especially, with the truck race and the bush race. I'm sure it's going to get a lot tighter on Sunday. But between our notes from last year, I think we should have a pretty good deal.
You're the only Winston Cup driver to actually race in Russia. What was that like?
That was quite an experience, I can tell you that. I did it back in 1992. We raced go-karts on ice representing the United States, and we had a blast. If it wasn't for the food poison that I picked up when I arrived, it would have been a pretty enjoyable weekend. But all for all, I mean, it was a good experience. I had a lot of fun. I mean, these things were a joy to ride.
How would you rate this team at this point of the season? When you entered this season, you had a lot of goals and expectations. Where are you now on your list of where this team should be?
Well, I mean, I think it's getting a lot better. I think what a lot of people don't realize is with Tony sitting out the first 4 races, it kind of put a burden on the team, and it took a while to catch back up. Even though we had a good start of the year, when he came back, we kind of had to learn back our basics on some of the racetracks that we've been at. We were trying to go off last year's notes, but you might as well scrap last year's notes and start all over with these new Goodyear tires. But I think it's been going good. I think ever since last week at Charlotte, we figured out something, and we ran superb. I mean, we had a car to win the race. And then coming back here, I mean, I didn't think we'd be that quick right off the bat because of the tires, but I think we figured something out. So I think the guys have done a good job. I mean, everybody's working hard in the shop, and I'm feeling more confident now with getting the grip of the tires and look out. I mean, I'm looking forward to Sunday's race.
You were one of the drivers who consistently ran bump rubbers last year when they outlawed them a few weeks ago. How much of a hindrance has that been for you and this team trying to get back on track?
It's been tough because those are Tony Furr's bump stops they're talking about. He's big on that. I mean, we're big on soft springs and bump stops, and we've kind of had to change a lot of stuff because I really got hooked up to that stuff last year. I mean, everywhere we gone, we ran really, really soft, and we kind of had to change everything around. Now we're trying to find something that I like and not have to run the bump stop. So it's kind of a hard situation. I mean, I understand what NASCAR is trying to do with safety-wise, but the way I look at it, we need to just race. We need to concentrate on just racing and letting these teams do a little bit more than what they're trying to make us do. Although you can't beat NASCAR. I mean, I understand what they're doing. So, I mean, it's just a matter of just me trying to pick it up and us as a team trying to learn as fast as we can on the best setups.
Good luck this weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Mike?
Thanks, Matt.
Of course, NASCAR 2 weeks ago making a rule change. It says the teams, this is all about front springs. They cannot be any taller than 8.5 inches. They cannot be any shorter than 7.5 inches. You can start the race with no spring rubbers or qualify with spring rubbers. You can use them to adjust the car during the race, but you got to start without them. And the bump stops, the ride limiters, the things that would let these cars go down in the corners on soft springs and get against that chassis stop, that is to discourage teams from running their cars soft, keep the teams from having to build cars, it won't bottom out, and make the cars more predictable.
Here's a look at top 10 practice speeds. Non-Winston Cup regular Jeff Green there in 10th. And as Darrell quickly noted, no Dodges in that top 10. Bill Elliott, 13th, is the fastest of the Dodge boys here at Dover.
Onion back home. Ricky, keep your hands off my bloomin' onion. Wait a minute now.
There's nothing like a day at the races.
You have your autographs?
Sure.
And nothing tops it off like a big bloomin' onion and a thick, juicy steak.
There you go.
Thanks.
Too fast for you, Ricky.
Outback Steakhouse, NASCAR's bloomin' favorite.
Welcome back to Dover Downs, where the rain has kept up. Well, actually, it keeps falling down, but you knew what I meant when you saw those umbrellas and covers over the cars and damp racetracks. So we are still on hold for Winston Cup qualifying. Still scheduled for this afternoon. It has not been scrubbed, although the track drying efforts have stopped for the moment as rain continues to fall. Each track we visit in the first half of this season, we try to take a unique look at through the eyes of our feature producer, David Blatt. We're not quite sure what David's on, but it's really exciting. And now, historic Dover, Delaware goes under his microscope in the latest of our You Are Here feature events.
Welcome to the great city of Dover, Delaware. This state capital is a thoroughly modern town of 30,000, where everyone is proud of the city's colonial past. Now it's time for a quick quiz. Why is Dover called Dover? A, in honor of Mary, Queen of Dover. B, Denver was already taken. C, named after stock car driver Sir Irving Dover. D, William Penn had a liking for Dover, England.
The answer is D. William Penn named the city. He was a great man, and Dover is a great place to live, work, and play.
Hi, I'm Nina Todd, along with Bill Dannenhauer. We're your guides to Dover's Museum of Small Town Life.
Come on and join the gang. We're ready to start our tour.
In here, we celebrate and remember Delaware's small town roots. That's an old print shop. And here's a woodworker's shop. Back in May, while digging through the old drugstore, we found a strange elixir.
Hey, look at this strange concoction. And there's an envelope with it.
Look, it's a note from William Penn.
June 1st, 1701. I bless Dover with 300 years of prosperity. But for Dover to prosper beyond that time, you must drink this magic potion in June of 2001. Signed, William Penn.
Well, it's June of 2001. Why don't you all make William Penn happy by drinking some of his magic potion? Oh, wait, stop, everyone. There's something on the back of the note.
Oops, I almost forgot. Before you drink the magic potion, you must say, "Long live Dover," or else.
Or else what?
Or else this.
I'm Darrell Waltrip. I'm Darrell Waltrip.
Oh no, I sound like Jeannie Zelasco. What could be worse?
Oh no, I sound like Chris Myers. Citizens of Dover, to quote William Penn, I kid because I care.
That's a scary picture there, isn't it?
And we found what David Blatt is on, our feature producer. It's high-octane iced tea, folks. That's all it is. Or maybe it's some of that potion.
Too much caffeine.
That looked like 76 racing gasoline in that beaker to me.
Too much caffeine for Brett.
Dover is the capital of the first state, so named because they were the first to ratify the U.S. Constitution.
Yes. You live up here, so keep on going.
But the facility is a unique facility because in the middle Dover Downs, there's a horse racing track. They run harness racing here, I think, from November to April.
It's something else to bet on. Don't tell me this card game from the Charlotte rain delay is still going on. And I think we're being joined by our special correspondent once more.
Yeah, there was just a little pause in that card game for about a 600-mile race. Elliott, sadly, you winning or losing today?
I'm doing pretty good today. We're playing Tonka again. We seem to be raining every week, so we seem to carry some cards with us. It's my turn to deal. That means you win. It's your turn to deal. So y'all let it keep on raining. Right now I'm ahead and having a good time.
I want to know, when the crew chief deals the cars, does he try to bend the rules the way they do the NASCAR rule book when they build race cars?
Yeah, he deals off the bottom of the deck every time, so we don't let him deal. We have to skip him, and we let the other guy deal. So we don't let Pat deal at all. We actually don't even let him touch the cards.
All right, well, good luck.
And they also will tell you, you know how crew chiefs are. They won't always tell you what's in the hand. They won't always tell you how the car is set up, exactly, because they want you to just drive it. So usually he'll have like 15 or 16 in his hand, and he'll tell you he's got 10 or 11, so you won't knock and win his money. So you know how crew chiefs are.
Yeah, Larry McReynolds, for example.
Hey, Elliot, I know why you're playing cards. You got all kind of confidence. I talked to Pat Tryson this morning, your crew chief. I believe you've got that Bristol winning car here, don't you?
We got the Bristol winning car here. We have the same 4 shocks, same 4 springs and everything. We're going to run that. We're going to try it again. These tires probably going to last a long time, we think, and we'll see what happens. That car feels good. The seat, the steering wheel, Daryl can tell you that. It all feels real good when you sit in it, and looking forward to a long 400 miles here on Sunday.
Well, now, he did tell me you ran this car at Richmond as well. He said it was the big winner at Bristol, but it was the big loser at Richmond. He said they had to put both sides on it after you got finished with it up there.
Yeah, I spun it out on the last lap, tried to make a grand finale finish at Richmond, and spun out and hit the wall, so that won't real good. So we put a side on it, brought it here, and going to use the same stuff we use at Bristol, and hopefully we'll have the same results.
Yeah, Elliot, this place does. It's only 400 miles, but it does feel like 500 miles. I can assure you that.
It does. Last year, I didn't think you could have a loose race car here. I've always been tight, but last year I was loose, so I don't want to run 400 miles loose again. We'll have it right for Sunday.
Now, let's see this. Is this a good hand?
I'm wondering,
Elliot,
where did that card come from?
One card just came from the floor. How did that work?
What's 2 queens, an 8, a 3, and a 7 worth?
Yeah. This is not
fold,
a good
Elliot,
hand.
Fold now.
Yeah, I need to fold. They won't let you. They just take your money and tell you to deal again. That's what they'll do.
Now, you're a driver. I know you don't listen to them.
No, you're not supposed to listen. Driver's always right. So
yeah, and you never have your wallet with you. So
yeah, you can't carry one in this suit.
No place to put it.
No place to put it.
Now, if he wants to see his hand, he can just look up at the monitor up there in the front of the truck.
Look in the mirror. These guys are real good looking in the mirror. They see it now.
All right.
All right. I appreciate y'all coming in and talking to us again.
Getting a little deep down there.
Yes, it is.
Better send a NASCAR inspector to go check those cards for nicks and marks. I think Elliot is the Lee Van Cleef character, What do you think? There's Eli Wallach and Clint Eastwood sitting in the corner. We'll be back with more of this incredible excitement from Dover Downs in a moment.
Night.
It's a big weekend on the Fox family of networks. Tomorrow, the MBNA Platinum 200 NASCAR Busch Series on FX, followed by Winston Cup Final Practice. Coverage begins 12:30 Eastern Time. Then on Sunday, NASCAR This Morning on the Net. The MBNA Platinum 400 for the Winston Cup cars and drivers, 12:30 Eastern on Fox and NASCAR Victory Lane. To wrap all of it up, Sunday night from the Monster Mile, Dover Downs. There's a look at the front stretch from the back stretch. Everything there in the infield, all of the rolling condominiums, and somewhere in the midst of that is our Hollywood Hotel. And down there with the fellow who was the fastest car at the end of the race last Sunday night, Matt Yoakum.
And he finished 3rd back in Charlotte last Sunday night. And Tony coming in trying for the 3-peat here in Dover, 25th fastest in practice. Come on, Tush, you're just working on your race setup, right?
No, we just didn't have a chance to put our qualifying tires on. The second set of tires, what everybody goes out and does their bonsai run, and we were just getting ready to do that when the rain came. But we came here and tested a couple weeks ago, and we did all race stuff. We didn't do any qualifying stuff, so that's why we're still in qualifying mode.
Why would you come here and use up one of your valuable tests at a place where you've won the last 2 races?
Well, that's what everybody asks, but keep in mind, there's a different tire here too. So with a new tire, that can change your whole setup for this racetrack. So we just thought it was a good opportunity. This is one of the tracks that we want to make sure we stay up front at. So versus not using it and coming here and maybe struggling and everybody going, why are you struggling? All of a sudden, we decided to use it and hopefully stay on top here.
Did you run bump rubbers when you tested here, or did you kind of have a feeling the new ruling was going to be coming down, so you guys ran the old stuff?
To be honest, I don't remember if we had bump rubbers on or not, to be honest. Our cars drive so good here anyway. I don't think that we really used to be in that mode. There's a lot of tracks we do run the bump rubbers, but I don't think this is one of them because this place, it's for concrete, it's really, really smooth, but at the same time, it still has a lot of bumps in it. So it makes it hard to run on the bump rubbers the rougher the track is.
What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah. What are you doing out in the rain today?
Nothing.
Hey, let me
watching the Weather Channel.
Let me ask you something. Last week, incredible. I love you, man. You're the greatest. And last week, it looked to me like that you had an opportunity to maybe capitalize a little bit more on, from a media standpoint of view, with what you accomplished. Incredible accomplishments, but you seem to shy away from all of that and not want any part of that. And I just explain that to me. You know, it'd have been fun to have somebody on the plane with you with a camera to see what you were going through from Indy to Charlotte to, you know, with what you had to do to make the transition and prepare for one race to the other. Just let me inside your head and tell me what was going on there.
Nothing. I'm just a racer. I'm more worried about racing than I am being a superstar. I'm just a race car driver. You know, we'll let Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte and all those guys be the superstars of our sport. I'm a racer. I mean, and my fans like me because of that. I don't care about the fame and the glory. I just want to make enough money to pay my bills and one day be able to retire like you did. So I could care less about the rest of it. I just want to race. I mean, I want to race every week, be competitive, and hopefully win a lot of races doing it.
Well, we thought what you did was pretty terrific, both at Indy and at Charlotte, and you were the fastest car at the end of the race. I wasn't kidding, and you weren't either, but it sounded like you were a little defensive, trying to defend what you did at the end of the race. Why did you feel you had to defend yourself?
Well, I mean, we got a lot of rocket scientists out there that think they know a lot more about what we're doing than what we're actually doing. And you read in the newspaper columns. I guess I pay more attention to what the fans write in it. Everybody always has a perception that I don't care about the fans. I'm the one person every week that reads every letter that the fans write into these racing publications. And a lot of them said I was dangerous for doing 2 races in the same day and was putting a lot of people in danger. Well, none of them said that 2 years ago when we did it. And I had a lot worse experience than I had, last week. So I just felt, a lot of people were putting us down and saying I was selfish for doing this and that, and I don't know how selfish you can be when you raise over $240,000 for a worthwhile charity. So it's just kind of disappointing. It's disappointing. I've never seen anybody, I would never put anybody down for trying to accomplish their goals and their dreams in life, and it was just disappointing to read some of the letters from the fans that were saying that we were doing something wrong. I thought we did a pretty good thing for charity, and I went for trying to accomplish what I've always wanted to do all my life. So if that's wrong, then I guess I'm extremely wrong, because I'll continue to do it if I have the opportunity to.
Well, we agree with you.
No, it's certainly not wrong, but you got to explain something to me. How can you be? I've never driven an Indy car. How can you go up there, drive that thing?
Because you didn't show up. I mean, I had you a ride.
I've had a lot of chances, but to drive that little car, and it's like driving a fighter, I'm assuming, like a jet, and then to get out of that car and come to Charlotte and get in that big old stock car, that great big old steering wheel on. Is there any way you can explain to me the difference in how it feels to drive that Indy car and jump out of that thing and jump in that stock car and then drive it off in the first turn and then spin out, of course? You had to do that for a little drama. But was that a part of the transit? Was that just because you'd been in the other car and maybe the thing just didn't do what you expected it to? What's the difference? That to me is the most amazing thing.
The reason I spun out was not because I just got out of an Indy car. Keep in mind, I had over an hour and a half to get ready to run the stock car. So the reason I spun was because the track was slick. We ran our final practice early in the morning on Saturday morning, and the track had a lot of grip in it. So the last time I got out of the Cup car, the track was in a lot better condition than what it was when we started the 600. So you got to keep in mind, once you get out of the Indy car, you get in a helicopter, you ride for 5 minutes in a helicopter, 45 minutes in a jet, another 5-minute ride in a helicopter, and we probably had a half hour by the time I got to the racetrack to kick back and relax and go through driver introductions and all the stuff we did before we got in the stock car. Plus, we had 3 pace laps. So,
yeah. But what about the feel? You still tell me the difference.
It's a lot different. The Indy car, when the car's right, you can go down to the end of the straightaway and just turn it off in the corner, and you can run flat, and you can't do it easy, but you can hold it wide open, and you just got to be careful of the line.
Do you fight with it? I mean, is it like, it's not like a stock car where you can juke on it a little bit and make it.
No.
You don't do that.
No, you juke on it. You've bought yourself a nice piece of white real estate about 3.5 feet tall that you're gonna scrape along for a while.
And the stock car, I mean, you go way around. I mean, you turn the thing, all the way over to maybe 10 o'clock. In an Indy car, I never see them move their hands much at all.
It's because there's not enough room to move your hands that far in those cars. The problem I have, I always have, the guys I drove for in the past, Bob East and Larry Howard and Glenn Nibel, they always used to talk about watching me run midgets and sprint cars with the open cockpit. They could tell when I was getting ready to make a move or get ready to go to the front, and I was getting comfortable because they could see my elbows come up in the car. And you can't do that in an Indy car. You're really confined, and that's why the steering wheel is so small. The movement of the steering wheel is very small, and you're not going to catch it. If you get those cars very loose, you aren't going to catch it like you do a Winston Cup car. So that's why you see very small movements and very smooth movements, because if you're jerking on the wheel at all, you're going to crash the car.
Which one's the most most comfortable to be in and to drive?
I'm a lot more comfortable in a Cup car now than I was in Indy cars. The Indy car, when it gets loose, there's not much of a chance of catching it. It's either tight or it's really good, or else you're scared of it.
Looks like it happens like all at once, like it loses all of its grip just all at once.
Exactly. With the aerodynamics of the car and the tunnels underneath the underwing, if you get the car and yaw very far, it loses all that downforce all at once. So that's why once the car gets loose, if it goes so far around, and at that point you can't catch it, you can't save it. It just loses all the downforce and keeps you from saving the car.
Tony, talking about downforce, you and I did a luncheon together the other day in Atlanta, and you was telling me about the sequence of events with the Indy car at Indianapolis, and you really felt good about the package you had there. But why don't you share that story about you making the selection of how that car was going to be and how things kind of caught you off guard up there?
Well, when we practiced up there, we only ran the first week, and once we got pole day out of the way, the second day we put the two kart drivers in the cars, and they qualified our backup cars and got them in the race. At that point, we pulled their seat and their belts out, and I ran the remainder of Sunday and ran in race configuration as far as the wing angles for the rear and trying different wicker sizes and deciding what aero package we wanted to run on during the race. And we settled in on one particular package at the beginning of the race, and for the first first third of the race in particular, the car was very light on downforce, and in traffic it didn't drive well. I couldn't run very close to other cars without the car being disrupted by the cars in front of me, the air that they disturbed. So we got a lot of downforce put in the car during a stop. They put a wicker in the rear, which adds rear downforce, and then they just increase the front wing angle with a screw that's in the front, so the crew can actually adjust that, so you can add or subtract downforce to the car. And we had added the downforce in the middle third of the race. We were really, really fast. With 50 to go, I thought it was time to go for the shootout, and we were leading the race at the time, and I was anticipating everybody coming in the pits when we came in, and it didn't happen. There were only 3 of us that came in, and we decided we were going to take some of that downforce back out of the car for the shootout, because we needed the raw speed to be able to hold those guys off to win the race. And when we did that, we had to go to the back of the pack, and with all the turbulence, my car was really light on the downforce again, and I couldn't run in traffic. So we were running 217 mile an hour with the aero package we had on. By taking the downforce away, we thought we could run 219 mile an hour. And instead, we ended up running 210 mile an hour, so we lost 7 mile an hour with that change. But, it wasn't the crew's fault, it was the driver. They let me decide on what changes we wanted to make all day. And, after running the whole month of May up there, it was very easy to see why Chip Ganassi's racing team won the Indy 500 last year.
Boy, it sounds like a lot like a stock car, very similar. At the end of the day, even though Indianapolis is a big racetrack, there's no substitute for downforce in both ends of that race car when you get ready to race.
Well, you can get too much. I mean, you can get the car to where it's too comfortable to drive, and you can hold it wide open, and it just doesn't run the mile an hour that you need to. But we were running right at the pace that everybody else had been running, right at 217 with the amount of downforce we had, and I felt really comfortable with it. But pulling that wicker out and lowering the front flaps of the front wing down in traffic was not the hot ticket. When we were leading, it was very easy because I had the clean air. So it was just the inexperience of not being up there and racing for 2 years in Indianapolis. I'd forgot a lot of the things that I had learned about how important the downforce was. And, if we had a chance to do it all over again, I'm sure we wouldn't make that mistake again, and we probably could have made it even better to where I could have ran somewhere around 218 or maybe low 219s and still having the same amount of downforce in the car.
Tony Stewart, Jeff Hammond here. Outstanding job last week, young man. I mean, I was really proud of you and pulling for you all the way. But let's bring you back here to Dover. You've been so dominant here at Dover. I took time this morning to stop by your truck and talk to your crew chief, Greg Zippadelli. And Greg, I said, hey, man, the rain's coming. What are you going to do? Have you got your race set up to go underneath the car? He said, buddy, I already got it on paper. So it sounds to me like your team is very confident about what they're going to put underneath your race car as far as tomorrow's concerned to start your practice session.
Yeah, that was the good thing about coming and using that test. We didn't do any qualifying runs, so for 2 days we just worked on race setups, and I'm pretty happy with the way it is. The new tire is different than the way that I drove the car here the last 2 years, so I'm glad we were able to use that test and find out what the tire likes and what it doesn't like, and I had to change my driving style here a little bit to complement that. So we're pretty confident we got a pretty good setup, at least someplace to start for if we get rained out today and what we're going to start with tomorrow now.
Tony, DW, one more question before we let you go. Any big surprises about your great adventure? Anything happened this time that took you by surprise?
It went too easy, to be honest. All the travel, even with the rain delay that we had in Indianapolis, I had some problems with some cramping in my leg, and we actually had time during the red to even work some of that out, and then everything else went really smooth. We got to Charlotte, and she goes, we don't have to leave the plane for 10 minutes to get in the helicopter. So they worked on my legs some more, still finished up all the IV fluids that they had going in me, and everything went really smooth. It was a very enjoyable month. We had a great time up there. The schedule was a lot easier this year, so during pole weekend, it was during one of our off weekends for the Cup Series. So with the exception of not winning the Indy 500, I thought it was a pretty doggone good weekend.
Going to do it again?
Oh, who knows? You never know.
I do. I know.
You're probably right, too.
Well, if you get the chance to, we hope that boyhood dream comes true. Congratulations on a great weekend and a great effort for Kyle and Patty Petty's Victory Junction camp. The attention you brought to them, they're just over the moon, and so are we. Just happy to be a part of it.
Now, it's a very, very worthwhile cause, and everything that family's been through, it makes me really proud of what we did, and just really happy. You know, Home Depot and Target working together to realize my dream. That was really special, and to see two major retailers that are in the same category with each other put together that side of the business to help somebody with their dream, I don't know how you could go wrong with that. So I just appreciate everybody's support. There were a lot of people that, even though I said a lot of people were against us on it, there were probably 10 times more people that were in favor of what we were doing.
There you go.
We got a lot of emails and a lot of letters in the last week, and we really appreciate all the fans' support for it. It meant a lot.
Well, great. Thanks. Tony Stewart, winner of the last two here at Dover, who has vaulted from 17th to 6th in the Winston Cup point standings in the last 5 races. See, there's a little racing going on here at Dover. Very little.
And he's got the same race car that he has run here the last 4 races he tested. I might make my pick now, DW.
Go for it.
All right.
It's raining again. Darn it. But we're here, and we'll have more news from the garage area in a moment. There's some kids enjoying an afternoon at the races.
Got them some
now
M&Ms.
Did they make their dad come to the race, or did their dad make them come? There's a proud dad and a fellow who is the fastest in practice. We'll talk to Mark Martin when we come back. We're rain delayed for Bud Pole qualifying here at Dover Downs. Get out your galoshes and be back with us in a moment. Welcome back to Dover Downs. Only one driver has led every race this year, a race leading streak that goes back to Atlanta last fall. 13 in a row, the current longest streak in the major league. Let's visit him in his dugout with Dick Berggren.
Yeah, he was also the fastest man in practice so far, Mark Martin, and he's got a terrific race car, the car that sat on the pole at Bristol, a racetrack very similar to this one. How's your chances for Sunday?
Well, you know, I hope it's good. We could see the front at Charlotte. That's the first time in a while. And I left there not feeling any better than I've been feeling, other than, you know, I think that we can move from where we were at Charlotte to the front. Some of these other racetracks, we hadn't been able to see the front, and we sure didn't know how to get there from, you know, if we couldn't see it. So this is one of my best racetracks. I like this race car at Bristol, and I says, man, we're taking that one to Dover and go up there and see what we can do, and it's been impressive so far. My race team has always got their chin up, and you know, everybody at Roush Racing had good runs last week at Charlotte, and we're coming into here, and we're going to give it our best shot.
Equally important to your own racing, however, are the kids that you're helping along with the quarter midgets. Your little boy, Matt, and tell us about the trip that you've got planned to Charlotte, coming up with some of these kids.
Well, you know, I've been going up to the race shop every other Tuesday, and the kids are just now starting to get out of school, so I made a commitment to myself that every time I'd go to the race shop, I'll fill my airplane full of race car drivers, little race car drivers, and take them up and show them, you know, while they're out of school and can go on Tuesdays. I'll take them up there and show them what the big race shops look like, you know, because their race shops usually look like the garage, you know, the two-car garage or whatever, you know, the back of a little trailer or something like that. And I want to give them the opportunity to see, you know, firsthand what these NASCAR race shops are like, and some of those kids are going to be the drivers of those cars one of these days, and I just really enjoy seeing them and seeing them race and see them develop, because I didn't get to see that. I didn't get to see, you know, kids start racing that young when I started in Arkansas. I heard of quarter midgets, but I'd never seen them, and we didn't have anything much you could race till you got to be a teenager in Arkansas at that time.
folks at home, do not underestimate how busy Winston Cup drivers are, and you've seen a couple of them this afternoon. There's a lot of them that take time out of their busy schedules to help the kids. Larry McReynolds, meanwhile, has a question. He's going to feed it to me. I'll feed it to you. Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, Dick, you know, Mark just came off his only top 5 this year, with the exception of Talladega, and that's in a different category. And I know he's comfortable with his car, but I'm a little surprised, based on the conversation him and I had at Charlotte last week, that he just didn't bring that Charlotte car right here to Dover.
Larry Mack is surprised you didn't bring the Charlotte car, given how well you ran with it last weekend.
Going to take that to Michigan. We feel like the Charlotte car is usually logically more like a bigger track car for us, and it would be something that we'd put in the lineup for certainly Michigan. We like the car a lot, but we usually run the same car at Bristol and Dover, so that made sense to us too. So at least the next 2 races, this race and the next race, we have 2 race cars that we're real excited about, and then from there, you know, we're going to start trying to turn these cars over and take the cars that we've been running and make the changes. We've been making some changes to them, and Larry and I had a conversation about that. And no, we haven't taken any of them to the wind tunnel yet, but we're making changes in the shop, and we're taking them to the racetrack and running them, and they're starting to get a little check beside the okay thing, and one of these days we'll probably take one to the tunnel and see what it is that we're doing. But right now we're just trying to make cars that race good and feel good and drive right to us, and when we get something that we're sure is just spectacular, then we'll try to document what that is so that we can reproduce it. But right now the guys at the shop are doing everything they can to go in a direction that I've tried to kind of push them, and hopefully that's going to keep working for us. We can keep getting a little bit better handle on the tires and stuff. As far as the bump rubbers go, we ran them a lot. We ran them in the race here last fall, and we ran well here. Had a car that probably could have won the race or could have contended to win, and we lost everything but 4th gear. Had to do a green flag pit stop like that toward the end of the race and those kind of things. But probably them outlawing the bump rubbers is probably all in all going to be a good thing for us, because I never did really feel that I had a complete handle on, you know, making the car work like I wanted it to. It worked real good at a couple of races, and then worked not so good at a lot of races. We're kind of back to the more basic, normal stuff like we used to run right now, and that certainly worked for us in Charlotte, qualifying and racing, and it's working good here. So. You know, I've got a great race team and great sponsors, and I was real happy to see Jeff Burton get a win last week. Matt Kenseth run as good as he did. Kurt Busch run as good as he did. And, you know, us run well. And we could see the front, and as long as I can see the front, then there's hope.
See the front. He's at the front every weekend at some point or another, maybe for a long time come Sunday. Let's go to the booth.
Well, Dick, Mark Martin has he has led 13 straight races. So you know what that music means? Time for a special edition of Trackside Trivia.
We did that during qualifying shows.
Oh, no. Mark's led 13 in a row. What's the record?
Oh, man.
I've got a hint. It happened in the latter half of the 1971 season into the 1972 season.
Ooh, that must be a long one.
I know. I won't know. I was only in the 8th grade.
It was before I started racing.
Bobby Allison led 39 straight races.
39?
39.
Wow.
How about that?
That's big.
More non-qualifying from Dover Downs. Welcome back to Dover Downs, where the rain becomes more persistent. Busch Series qualifying has been scrubbed. They have 43 entries, and they will fill that field by points. We're still on hold for Winston Cup qualifying, and there's a truck race to follow later this afternoon, weather permitting. We'll be back at Dover Downs in a moment. High above turns 1 and 2, 2,000 new seats installed for this race, and see that blank empty space to the left of them? It won't be blank come September. More demand and more seats in store here at Dover Downs, and soon a hotel on site. That's good news for us, I hope. Meanwhile, there is a hotel on the grounds, the Hollywood Hotel.
Oh, since my baby left me, I found a new place to dwell.
And there's really no vacancy down there right now because we're
Now that Jimmy Spencer's in there, well, it's gone to Heartbreak Hotel.
Yeah, rhymes with hotel. Steve Burns is the desk clerk at the Hollywood Hotel.
Oh, my. Thanks very much, Mike. Jeff Hammond has gone to play in the rain, so we have Jimmy Spencer and Matt Kenseth. Ironically, 13th and 14th of the points. Jimmy, we'll start with you first. You guys are really starting to make a nice run in the points.
We've been running pretty good all year, Jeff, and we've had some tough luck. I'm sorry.
Jeff just left.
God. I'm sorry,
You're
Steve.
shook up for the singing.
It is. Daryl, I mean, he definitely should be in the music industry without a question, that pretty voice.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, we have been running pretty good with the Kmart car. We've had some tough luck. But all in all, the competition level is so hard in this sport. I mean, every time you look, if you have a bad pit stop, you lose 8-10 spots, or if you have a little ill-handling car, you're not a top 10 car anymore. So the sport has really gotten very competitive, and I feel proud that we're not far out of the top 10 in points, and we're getting some top 10 finishes. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, just 69 points out of 10th. Matt, switching to Roush Racing, of course, Jeff Burton with a big win at Charlotte, and heard Jeff and heard Mark Martin say they're getting back to basics. I mean, is that a team-wide thing that you guys are trying to do?
Well, we've all been trying to run what we think is best for our race cars, and at Charlotte I ran all the stuff that I ran last year in the spring, and I think they all ran pretty much the same package, and it seemed to work again for us. But that was only one racetrack, and that was only one race. In my Busch car, I ran the stuff I used to run there too, and it worked, and it don't necessarily work everywhere else. So I hope that we found a little closer baseline, and I hope it'll all be better, the rest of the year. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Here's a little-known fact, and quite a coincidence. Both of these guys made their Winston Cup debuts here at Dover. Jimmy's was in 1989. What do you remember about that day?
Nervous. I got a phone call the week earlier, and Buddy Baker said, "Hey, you want to drive the Winston Cup car?" And I went like, first of all, I hung up on him. This is no lie. I did. He called on the phone, and I said, "Yeah, this is really Buddy Baker." But I was busy in my race shop. And, I mean, it's something that you dream of your whole life. I dreamt of driving a Winston Cup car. I came here back in the 70s, and I went to Pocono, and I watched late Mark Donahue race, and I watched Darrell, and not even before Darrell became in his prime, in the early 80s and the late 70s, Bobby Allison and, all those guys, even Leroy Yarborough raced the Winston Cup cars, and I wanted to do that as a young person, and for me to be doing it at Dover, where I did see some Winston Cup races, it was awesome. I was nervous without a question. And I was excited about it, and we qualified 19th, I think, which I was really excited about, and we were running in the top 10 and had an engine failure, but I'll never forget that day as long as I live. It's the break I needed, and I'm still doing it, and I enjoy it.
We'll take a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll talk to Matt Kenseth, who also made his debut here in 1998. You're trying to watch qualifying of Fox Sports Net. Welcome back to Dover, Delaware. We had hoped to get Winston Cup qualifying in on Fox Sports Net. You see some of the cars being pushed back to the garage, but meanwhile, we're up in the Hollywood Hotel keeping Chris Meyer's seat warm along with Jimmy Spencer and Matt Kenseth. Now, Matt, your debut here in 98, I just happened to be working that into pit road, and I remember a point in the race when you said, "Guys, I think I can win this race." You're filling in for Bill Elliott. What a thrill that must have been.
Well, I wasn't really sure we were ever going to win the race, but we did run good at certain points, and it was a lot of fun. When Mike Beam came and found me and asked me to drive the car, he's like, "Hey, I don't want to do anything else. I just want to haul butt," he says. And I'm like, okay, well, this is, they were my kind of guys. They really worked on the car, and, it was fun. It was fun to do something different and see a different perspective one time. And, for my first Winston Cup race, it was a lot of fun. We ran as high as second for a while and finished sixth, so it was a real good day.
What does it mean to a young guy? You came out of Wisconsin racing short tracks up there, but you come to the Busch Series, you have some success, but now all of a sudden you're racing against Jimmy Spencer and, not Bill Elliott because you were filling in for him that day, but Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon. Does that enter into your mind when you get ready to get in that race car?
It was definitely intimidating when I first ran the race and got ready to run the race. Once you're out there racing, I didn't think about that too much. I was just trying to, run the best we could and race everybody just like they're another car. But it's funny, whenever you move into different racing series, you kind of learn people's personalities, on the track. Before you probably learn them off the track, but you race with everybody, and everybody has a different personality on the racetrack, and it's kind of fun to figure out. You race with somebody how people race you, and then you'll get to the next guy and he'll race you totally different. So it's kind of fun.
Well, how about the boys upstairs? You have any questions for our distinguished panel here?
Oh yeah, I got a question for Jimmy. It looks to me like your team is a lot better this year than it was last year. Having been there and worked with both groups a little bit, I just wonder. You know, it might be new cars, it might be this, it might be that. But do you think driving that Busch car on Saturday has helped your driving on Sunday and helped you take information over to the team that's made a difference?
I think it has, Darrell. I think that a big change in our race team was we didn't have to do a lot of things over the winter to our cars. We had built some new cars towards the fall, just like I think you knew we had a couple new cars. We won't go there, right, Darrell?
No, don't go there.
And, but anyway.
I don't know anything about new cars, but...
No, I know.
Matt, how
That's
about...
the truth, though, folks. Wow. But anyway, no, it's...
Mine were new in 1995. That's all I know.
Nearly new.
But anyway...
I agree, no, but I think that, that helped our race team a real lot, and I really like this tire a lot. But I think driving the Busch cars with the new engines, I was against the new engine. And... I think that the new engine now has picked the Busch cars up about 100 horsepower. The big difference is the speed. You can't run the car as free as you used to. Naturally, I think you're seeing a lot better Busch racing also, but it is helping the Cup drivers. I think it is helping me for Sundays without a question.
Now, Matt, how about for you? Same question, because when you drive the Busch races, you drive for a whole different team on Saturday, some of the same personnel, than you do on Sunday. But isn't it an advantage for you?
I think it helps at certain times. If nothing else, it helps you get more track time. You're running on the same tire, same racetrack. You kind of get to maybe a little advantage on the track conditions. For me, I feel like running a Chevy in the Busch Series and a Ford in the Winston Cup Series. A lot of my spring combinations and some of my shock combinations don't seem to work out for both cars as well as I hope they would. But it's still fun to run the Busch races. We're real competitive over there, and it's always fun when you're running up front.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Thank you both for joining us and keeping it dry in here. Let's go back up to Mike.
All right, rain still falling here at Dover Downs. NASCAR still on hold as far as qualifying. It has not yet been canceled, and there's a truck race to run here. So we'll be right back to Dover after this. As we've mentioned, qualifying for the MBNA Platinum 200 Busch race has been canceled, so they'll line up by points. And here's a look at the starting lineup.
The interesting thing about row 5 right here, Matt Kenseth and Mike Skinner, someone might say, but wait a minute, those guys have not run all the races, but it's owner points, and those two cars have run all the races.
And a look back through 20th starting position, where Buckshot Jones back aboard the 00. Todd Bodine has driven that car most of the season.
Jimmy Spencer in the one car. And I just follow up a little bit with Jimmy in the booth there, in the hotel there. I thought it was really cool when they won that race at Richmond and dedicated it to Neil Bonnet and his family. That was really a neat tribute, and I really give Jimmy and James Finch a lot of credit for thinking about that.
Some new names toward the back of this field, like Bonnefeld out of the Truck Series, Curtis Davis, Bill Hoff.
Steve Park, though, going to make a Busch Grand National start here in that 31 car. He drives a few races.
And Dave Blaney in Brian Goey's Busch car. He also runs some dirt modified events for Brian Goey up in the Northeast.
And Mike, you mentioned it a while ago, Joe Nemechek was supposed to run this Busch Grand National race, still recovering from injuries. Bobby Hamilton Jr. subbing for him in the Winston Cup car. They will make this race up at Kentucky in 2 weeks with Jeff Fuller.
Now, further news will come on Totally NASCAR tonight and every weeknight at 6 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Net. Your home for news about NASCAR. We'll be right back here to Dover Downs, where the rain seems to have lessened just a little bit. This afternoon for Sunday's MBNA 400, 200 tomorrow, 400 Sunday, 600 and all. Ask Tony Stewart, he has all the numbers. Dick Bertrand, though, has a fellow who's run well here.
Yeah, a fellow who's really disappointed that qualifying has washed out this afternoon. Rusty Wallace has won 3 poles in the last 6 Dover races. How do you do something like that? Come into a racetrack like this that is as difficult as Dover and just clobber them in qualifying?
Well, Dover's always been a really good track for me. We've got a lot of poles. I like the shape of it. I like how aggressive you can drive it. And we had a good car this afternoon, and I thought that we had a shot at the pole, too. Our practice times didn't show it because we were trying a lot of things, but when we put all the pieces together, I thought we had a shot at it, but now we'll have to start third, and that's not so bad either.
And 3 wins before they laid the concrete down. Your 3 wins were when this place was asphalt, but since the concrete, not so good. What's happened to you in the concrete?
Yeah, we haven't had the wins, and that's what we were just talking about earlier. You know, why is it you go to Bristol and win so many races and you come here and get all the poles, but when you get in a race, it's a lot of laps led and top fives and seconds and thirds, but no wins? And I wish I knew the answer to that. And this week, hopefully I can change that around.
Sunday's going to be a good day. Let's go up.
Thanks, Dick. Rusty Wallace. We'll be back to wrap things up from the Monster Mile and talk about what may or may not happen as far as qualifying and the rest of the day is concerned here in the capital city of Delaware. As Rusty Wallace mentioned in our last segment, qualifying for this afternoon has been scrubbed. NASCAR's primary goal this afternoon is to get the Craftsman Truck Series race in and run today as scheduled. If that happens, the Winston Cup cars could qualify tomorrow morning. If the truck race is rained out today, then it takes priority tomorrow morning, and the Winston Cup cars would then start on points. Now, if there's an update on this, we'll give it to you at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Totally NASCAR here on Fox Sports Net. Otherwise, we'll have the starting lineup for you tomorrow during our final practice coverage for the Winston Cup cars. Final thoughts, Dick Berggren.
Here's an instant update, Mike. It's still raining. You know what? We've talked to an awful lot of people who are very optimistic about their chances here on Sunday. A lot of guys, a lot of cars have got a good shot to win this thing. It's worth tuning in on. Let's go to Matt.
And Nick, the guy who was the slowest car in practice, Bobby Labonte, his crew chief, Jimmy Makar, all smiles because they spent the entire practice session on Friday working on race setup. They're hoping that this race does not go qualifying setup because they gambled. They didn't think qualifying was going to come in. They've got their race set up in the car. They're hoping no qualifying on Saturday, just happy hour. Mike?
Well, so far their gamble's been a good one, but Larry, is that a long stretch to say, well, we don't care about qualifying because it may or probably won't happen?
Well, again, what these guys, they're looking for is to get their race season turned around, and it certainly started at Charlotte last week with a 5th place finish, and I'm sure there was a method to the madness. I mean, crew chiefs, I watched the Weather Channel when I was a crew chief, and when I couldn't watch it, I got Linda to tape it where I could watch it when I got home.
That's right. Now, you know, a race setup is not all that different, Mike. You could throw a couple of spring rubbers in here or there, some tape, sticker tires, a little extra air, tune up the motor, put it on kill. You're going to qualify pretty good anyway, so I think that's what they're thinking.
So we're going to climb down, go find some of that magic potion that David Blatt had from William Penn in that feature. And at 6 p.m. tonight on Fox Sports Net, Totally NASCAR will update you on any further developments from here at Dover Downs. But right now, the track and the weather radar look pretty socked in with rain for the afternoon. Again, NASCAR is going to try to get the Craftsman truck race in this afternoon. And if they do that, the NASCAR Winston Cup cars could qualify tomorrow morning. And if not, they would start on points. But whatever happens here, with the weather or not, 5 cars will go home.
Yeah, and it's tough down there in the garage area. You know, some guys are wanting to qualify, some guys aren't, and it puts NASCAR in a real predicament.
One way or another, we'll see you tomorrow right here from the Monster Mile at Dover Downs. Thanks for joining us here on Fox Sports Net.